Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behavior Bites. My name is Brad.
And I'm Mike, and we are also joined by our producer Aaron, who's behind the camera.
Hello.
All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about expectations in your classroom. Now, routines and expectations, those are two terms that oftentimes get lumped together. And while there is some overlap there, they are two totally different topics. And so each one of those is going to get its own Behavior Bites treatment today.
Yeah, and these are not just our opinion. They're really important. They're trauma sensitive strategies that work well with preschool on up through 12th graders and actually a bit beyond that, which we might even talk about at the very end of this video.
Let's talk about what expectations are. Well, what it is clearly communicating to my students what it is I want them to do.
Yeah, sometimes we hear rules and expectations being used interchangeably, and yeah, that's okay. But I prefer the term expectations, and let's do a word association here to kind of see where we're at with it. Okay, ready, Brad? If I say the word rules, what do you think of?
You're breaking the rules.
Right. Okay, and Aaron, expectations, what do you think of when I say expectations?
Meeting expectations.
Nice. So I like that, the flavor of that, the expectations, it has a bit more of a positive connotation to it. So, and Brad, you got some thoughts on that?
All right, so you're going to hear us talk a lot about positive language. When you hear us talk about positive language, we're not talking about you're great, Mike, you're super and you're special and everything is going to be wonderful. That's all true, but that's not what positive language is. Positive language is communicating what I want you to do instead of what I want you to not do. Positive versus language. So when I think about rules, they tend to be negative language based. No talking. No walking around. Don't do this, don't do that, right? And that creates almost like a whack-a-mole situation. Stop that, stop that, stop that, stop that, which can be problematic.
Yeah, and so try to use that positive language in creating your expectations. So something, and instead of saying like, "Hey, don't put your head down," your expectation is focus on the speaker, right? And I think we're going to do a brief video on comparing rules and expectations in the future. I think it'd be good stuff that we would work on.
It's a good idea. I think we will.
Brad, do you want to tell us about the why? Why is this expectations important?
Why do I have expectations in my classroom? Because it's creating that classroom environment, that community for learning where it's okay to fail. I can make a mistake, and that's all right.
Those classrooms with really strong expectations in place, you can sense it in there. There's clarity, there's this predictability, there's consistency, and there's a structure to it that honestly is really, really great for our students that have experienced trauma. But it is a fantastic just learning environment for all of our kids.
Right. So how do I do it? What I'm going to do, when I do it with my kids, a lot of times what I want to do is I'm going to let them know very clearly, this is what I want to see from you. But the other thing that I'm doing is I'm letting them know, this is what you should be able to expect from me. So I'm creating a situation where it's a collaborative partnership, right? I want to see this from you, but you can see this from me. So with this example, one of my always I had in my classroom was this expectation. We're going to show respect to all teachers and to all students. That means I expect to see them respecting all teachers and students. They should also expect to see me respecting all teachers and all students.
You know, and to add on to that, one of the things I like to do is I like to get input from the students about the expectations. What do they expect from each other? What do they expect from me? They get to tell me. I tried that with couple of my college classes. Number one expectation they had of me was that they wanted feedback, and they wanted it timely, and they wanted it to be authentic. And that's something I've carried with me like throughout everything I've done after that.
Yeah, Mike, I am a grown man, and I appreciate knowing what to expect when I go into a new situation, right? Guys, this was on expectations, all right? The next one's going to be on routines. Routines are how we get them to do what we want them to do, and that's going to be our next video. In the meantime, go forth, do good things.